Are there advantages to aging? Yes, I am Debbi-Jo Horton, and welcome to Advantages to Aging. Join my guests and I as we discuss aging and what makes for a healthy lifestyle, which results in a quality life. Thank you for joining me today.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tips on Tuesday with Advantages to Aging. And today we're going to talk about the scale. And we're going to do so with my friend Joanne Mello. She's a healthy habit coach. So that right in and of itself makes you feel good, right? So hello, Joanne, and welcome to our episode. I hope you're ready for my tough questions.
Absolutely, DJ. Thanks so much for having me. This is awesome.
You're quite welcome. So we kind of already mentioned the scale. So why do we tend to obsess with the scale?
You know, DJ, I think it's a problem a lot of people have, especially women. And I think it's kind of comes from society that, you know, we see that number on the scale as some type of our self-worth, that if that number is higher than we think it should be, no matter what we look like, you know, because we have a number in our head that, you know, we feel like we failed or that we're weak and we're not strong, that, you know, we have no self-control over our eating habits or our exercise habits or any of our habits. So it really puts us in a bad state where, you know, our mindset, you know, it can ruin our day. And oftentimes women are hopping on scale first thing, because think of it, you don't want to wait until you have breakfast because then you weigh way more. So you want to just jump on that scale first thing in the morning. And then that can really set the tone for your day, where you're just kind of like stressed out, disappointed, you feel bad. And maybe you don't even feel that your self-worth is what it should be, because so that number on the scale is really a problem for so many of us.
That is so true. And you know what was funny is that I never had a scale in my life until my late husband always had a scale in the bathroom and was always weighing himself. And it got me thinking, oh my goodness, should I be weighing myself? Because should I? Shouldn't I? I don't know. And and that unfortunate habit has stuck with me. But you know, oftentimes, and I think you just mentioned it, I hear scale fail. What does that mean even?
So I think, again, the scale fail is we have a number in our head that we think we should be at, right? And no matter what your body looks like, because I know many women, and myself included, that, you know, I've lost inches, but I step on the scale and their number doesn't move. So instead of feeling really good that my clothes fit better or that I've lost a few inches, I'm still hung up on that number. So again, you're feeling that not so great about yourself because the number didn't move. So that is what I call the scale fail. That's where you may be succeeding very well. You may be becoming so healthy with, you know, losing inches and feeling good in your clothes and good in your skin. And then you step on that scale and it's like, oh, you know, it's such a letdown.
Yeah. And there's so many non-scale wins, right? When we're trying to get fit and healthy, most of our wins don't show up on the scale. And you're so right. So since the first of the year, I've been trying to lose weight. And you're right. Like you look at that scale and you go, oh my God, it's not moving. Well, wait a minute. How can it not be moving when my pants are too big? Like I needed to go down an entire size. And then the other, fortunate or unfortunate, I'm not really sure, you know, they said, oh, we'll also take your measurements. So, you know, I did the typical 3, the hips, the waist, and the chest. And, you know, like everybody was, you know, talking about overall inches. And I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And, you know, then it was like, no, you're supposed to also measure your thighs and your calves. And all of that. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And then, so what I realized was that even though I'm down only, that's
See?
terrible words, right? I'm down 13 pounds. I'm also down 25 inches.
That. Now, for 25 inches, you would instantly think that should be way more pounds.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. And I'm not like out at the gym doing like these excruciating exercises and building muscle. So you can't say, well, muscle weighs more than that.
Right. Exactly. Which it does. And I think there's, some women that's another part of the scale fail is, they are doing whatever they can do to, get healthy, and maybe they are building muscle. And I always use the analogy that, if you have a pound of Brussels sprouts and a pound of marshmallow, the marshmallows are going to weigh less, but the Brussels, but I mean, look at that, sugar health, right? So yeah, exactly. But congratulations on you. That's an awesome win.
Oh, thanks. So I like that, the marshmallow analogy, because I call all those, those what most people call fat, those 3-letter word, FAT.
Yeah.
I call it your jiggly wigglies that you don't want. But now I can call them marshmallows.
Now you can call it marshmallows.
It's all that extra fluff.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Yeah.
So I'm great. Sure, because you help build healthy habits, what is it that we can do to kind of change our mindset about that scale fail?
Yeah. So a couple of things that I really try to work with my clients is, first of all, take a step back and look at reasons why maybe the scale fails. Like we mentioned the muscle, but there's also inflammation. So inflammation is a huge driver of why the scale fails for us, again, because first it helps us to hold on to water. So there's water weight. And then there's also food intolerances, because food intolerances are a commonality that we don't see the signs. We don't look for them. We don't recognize them. We don't even understand them. But there's so many people that have intolerances to dairy or gluten or grain. And definitely people don't really have an intolerance to sugar, but every sugar reacts that way to everybody. It causes inflammation. So when you have this inflammation in your body, the scale isn't going to move. You can lose inches, but it's not going to move. And then you got that whole mental thing with the number. So when I work with my clients, what I try to say is, first of all, if they're trying to lose weight, you need to get a measurement, because you can't improve what you can't measure, right? So you need to at least get that first number to say, okay, where are we going with this? But I also say, you know what? First of all, you want to look at how your clothes feel. Your clothes are the biggest thing, because if something was tight and it now fits, or it's loose, that's a huge win, like you said, right? But the other thing is, I like to ask them to look at the scale like a computer. And that's basically what it is. But a computer that's giving you information, if you weigh yourself every day, that maybe whatever you ate yesterday is maybe an intolerance. Maybe it's a food that's causing inflammation. Because here's the thing, you don't gain a pound overnight. You don't gain a couple pounds. Pounds come on over time. Right. So the ice cream that you had today, if you gain 2 pounds overnight, maybe it's a dairy intolerance. Maybe it's not the calories of the ice cream. It doesn't work that quickly. So I like to ask them to use it as a messenger of inflammation, like, the old, Google, like, what did I eat yesterday? Did the pounds go up? Maybe I should think about, what did I eat, and try, maybe eat it again and see if the same thing happens, or take it away and see if it doesn't. But to kind of use it as a little experiment to help them realize what to choose and what to lose.
I love that. I never, ever heard it explained that way before, because I know so many people, and now that the scale, I always kept my scale in my walk-in closet so that,
Oh yeah.
I wasn't going to really use it. Now it's in the bathroom because I want to be able to weigh myself more regularly. Maybe I shouldn't
Yeah.
be, but it's like when you see it, when you walk in there every morning, you go like, "Oh, should I be getting on that today?"
It's
Or
almost like
no, I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at it like, let me step on this scale and see if what I ate yesterday made me go up a few pounds, then that's a good clue. Maybe that's not the right food for you. And it can be the healthiest food on the planet. Case in point, Brussels sprouts, and I use that for the weigh-in too. Like Brussels sprouts puts bloat on me overnight. Like they don't agree with me. So they're a healthy food, but they're just not healthy for me. So
right.
it
Not
doesn't
something you want to eat all the
to
time.
yeah, exactly. So it's not necessarily that we're looking at like, oh, I had pizza yesterday or chocolate cake last night. It can be anything.
Right. And I know that I have a dairy intolerance, and you're right. If I have any dairy whatsoever, the bloat comes on, the inflammation comes on, and it can just be a small amount. It doesn't have to be like a hot fudge sundae or anything like that. It can be a pat of butter.
Yes.
And I can react.
Yes.
So those are all excellent points. And I'm sure that there's a whole lot of questions that are swirling around in everybody's heads. And and I'm sure we're not going to capture all of those in this interview. However, if you drop those questions in the comments, then we'll make sure that Joanne can reach out and get those answers for you. Because we could talk for days about this. And I know that, and what's interesting is you can be super thin, right?
Yeah.
And you could still have pockets of fat that you don't want. So it's not just about losing weight, but it's getting fit. And
absolutely. Never about the size.
Yeah. And your habits and your mindset definitely play a huge role. And I oftentimes say the most weight is right here between your two ears.
I love that. And you're absolutely right. It's what our thoughts weigh us down a lot more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Joanne, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Make sure that everybody tunes in for our next episode.
Do you think one of the biggest advantages to aging is all the knowledge we gain along the way? Me too. What did you learn today? Share with me in my Facebook group with the same name as this podcast, Advantages to Aging. Now hit subscribe so you don't miss all the tips to come in future episodes.